Watch a master pianist perform a demanding concerto. Their hands move with extraordinary precision across keys they barely seem to look at. They are thinking, but they are not thinking about where to put each finger. That particular intelligence has been driven underground. It runs below the waterline of conscious attention, leaving the conscious mind free for interpretation, phrasing, expression. The hands know what to do. The question is how. William James found this kind of automatic, skilled, subconscious action one of the most fascinating phenomena in psychology. It pointed to something remarkable about the architecture of mind, that intelligence, complex and purposeful intelligence, does not require consciousness to operate. Much of what we do, and do well, happens below awareness. James developed the concept of ideomotor action to explain one of the simplest versions of this phenomenon. His claim was straightforward and radical. Simply thinking of a movement tends to produce that movement, unless some inhibiting thought is present. The idea of the action, entertained without countervailing thought, flows directly into execution. Consciousness of the goal generates the movement without requiring a separate act of will. He illustrated this with the experience of getting out of bed on a cold morning. You lie there aware that you should get up, unable to bring yourself to do it. You rehearse reasons. Nothing happens. Then, at some point, without apparent decision, you find yourself on your feet. What happened? James argued that the moment you stopped thinking about getting up, stopped entertaining the competing thought of staying warm, the idea of rising, left alone, produced the movement automatically. The act of will, he famously said, is not always a command. Often it is simply the cessation of resistance. This principle of ideomotor action underlies many forms of automatic behavior. The experienced driver who navigates a familiar route while thinking about something entirely different. The chef who seasons a dish without consciously measuring. The athlete in flow who reports afterward that they do not quite remember the decisive moment. In all these cases, the behavior is intelligent, contextually appropriate, and purposive, but it is not consciously supervised. Something else is doing it. James connected this to his theory of habit. Once an action has been practiced sufficiently, it becomes automated, removed from the costly process of conscious deliberation and handed over to what James described as the physiological mechanisms of the nervous system. This is not a degradation of the action. In most cases, it is an improvement. Automatic actions are faster, more fluid, and less prone to the interference that self-conscious monitoring produces. The expert performs better precisely because they are no longer thinking about technique. But James was also interested in more dramatic evidence of subconscious intelligence. He examined cases of automatic writing, the phenomenon in which a person's hand, holding a pencil with attention directed elsewhere, produces coherent text that the conscious mind did not compose. In some cases, the produced text was sophisticated and contextually relevant. It appeared to answer questions, complete narratives, express emotional content that the conscious person claimed not to be aware of. James treated this as evidence of a genuine subconscious intelligence, not a supernatural one, but a natural one, the work of the same mind, running in a channel the conscious self cannot directly observe. He connected automatic writing to the broader phenomena of hypnotic suggestion, post-hypnotic behavior, and the actions performed during somnambulism or trance. In all these states, intelligent, purposive behavior occurred without ordinary conscious supervision. The subconscious was not passive. It was active, capable of pursuing goals, responding to context, and producing behavior that would normally be called voluntary. For James, this had philosophical as well as psychological implications. If so much of our behavior originates below consciousness, the degree to which we are the authors of our actions becomes deeply ambiguous. We feel ourselves deciding, initiating, choosing. But much of what follows is automatic, shaped by habit, by subliminal processing, by the momentum of previous choices long since solidified into unconscious routine. We are the product of our prior selves in ways we can barely perceive. Modern cognitive science has extended James's analysis into a comprehensive dual-process framework. System 1, fast, automatic, unconscious, associative, handles the vast majority of human behavior. System 2, slow, deliberate, conscious, effortful, is called in for novel situations and explicit reasoning. The ratio is striking. Most of what we do, most of the time, is System 1. Consciousness is less the captain of the ship than an observer with the illusion of captaincy, only occasionally intervening in a vessel largely steered by automated routines. Understanding automatic action as James understood it is both humbling and liberating. Humbling because it reveals how little of our behavior is truly deliberate. Liberating because it clarifies the leverage point for genuine change. If you want to change what happens automatically, you must work at the level where automatic behavior is formed, the level of repeated, conscious practice, which over time drives new patterns below the threshold and makes them second nature. The subconscious is not an obstacle to transformation. It is the destination that practice is aimed at. Subscribe to The Psychology of William James to explore more of his timeless ideas.